cursed us. The music's cursed. We're cursed because we heard it. You made us play it. We have to destroy it.
So I want to talk about the movie Death Metal. So we just watched it.
Oh,
It was fun. It was interesting. It was very cool. I want to get your guys' thoughts on that. And have you watched it? Obviously, I'm sure you have. And
yeah, it was a great experience, to be honest.
yeah,
It was funny because through the small acting scene that we had done, we had the actors coming up to us apologizing for using their instruments. They're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. We don't know what we're doing," and we're like, "Yeah, but we don't know what we're doing." You know what I mean? It was like, and I think we attempted, hopefully pulled off, depends upon opinion, to have like a small little scene that it would be, in stark contrast the way that we actually react to the other bands and contemporaries and even fans of ourselves, to just be total dicks, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah,
it was fun, it was enjoyable, and it was at a right proper time as well, because it was during the Hell's Head Bash 3 out in Cleveland. And we had an amazing experience playing with both Killjoy and Paul Ledney during that fest. And then with the advent of this, it was the fake band Abyss Sinister.
yeah.
Kyle's hands were really, really deep into this project. So I think he's even executive or co-producer. I can't
It's
recall right
executive
now.
producer or something like that.
I was
Yeah.
wondering about the footage, the live footage. How far back did that go? Because John, you didn't have a beard in
Yeah,
that too.
that was
Yeah.
well, the actual filming of it wasn't at the Hell's Head Bash where we did it. It was the same venue,
I'm
but
sorry.
it was a different time, because we Kyle put on like a show. It was at the Agora. It was like us and was it Blackfinger and
Oh, and Terror?
Terror.
Yeah.
No, was it Terror? I forget, but there was like I fuck if I can remember, but yeah, it was basically a show where we had put on like 5 bands at the Agora, and we filmed the show there to do that. And that had to have been what, in 2016 or something, or 17,
Okay. Yeah.
16 probably. Yeah, because it was, before I had the beard again, for sure. But obviously, but it was a fun fun thing to do. I mean, I was really, really, really self-conscious about the little part I had about you talking about if Chuck got that cream or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Or I got a cream for that for you, or something
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You should get that checked out. Seek a professional,
Yeah.
Hey man, got a great show tonight. Oh, we really nailed it, didn't we? Yeah. I'm Ivan. Ivan? Yeah. And you? Batman. Of course it is. What band are you guys? Abyss Sinister. Abyss what? What is it? Abyss Sinister. What is it? Abyss Sinister. Abyss. Abyss Sinister. Abyss Sinister. Abyss Sinister. Abyss Sinister. Oh, didn't you guys break up recently? Yeah, it's a long story. Europe. Yeah, I heard something about that. Oh, Europe. Yeah, you guys had a bad Europe run. Ooh, we better cross the pond from Europe. Wasn't great. Was it? That chicken grease. You still got that rash? Just a little.
Gotta get some cream for that.
Yeah, you'll have to tell us, no? Yeah. Great show.
That's funny.
But it was cool. It was cool to finally see it, come together and stuff, because it was done quite a long time ago, and
Yeah.
it's fun to look back, on that whole day of situation of recording the stuff or whatever. But it's at that time I was very, very, very self-conscious, like doing any kind of acting whatsoever, but I still I wanted to do it, go a little bit out of my comfort zone with it, but
It turned out good. Yeah,
it was fun little thing. And
Fun.
it's nice. It's nice. They, got some good footage from us at the Agora, playing and stuff. I mean, I was blown away that the whole like credits of the movie is with us playing Rights of the Locusts,
What's wild about it too is it's not even a clip, it's the entire song.
Oh,
I know.
really?
And that's not common when it comes to cinema. You would have to essentially crop it in order to avoid like licensing issues and the like. But it was that he played the whole song.
Yeah.
That was really nice of him. That's cool.
Yeah. And I'm a fan of cheesy horror movies, so it fit right in my wheel well of entertainment for that. I thought they did a good job. I mean, it's a cool cheesy kind of story. It's kind of like that comedy horror kind of vibe to it, or somewhat. Which I really, it was a fun watch, especially after so much time. Because I mean, Kyle's been probably living with it a lot more because he's been in, was kind of part of the whole thing. But for myself, it's like I didn't even think about any of that stuff for a while, and then once it kind of came out and I got the DVD of it, I thought it'd be, it was cool to revisit or whatever, and it kind of reminded me of, it's just nice to be there while they're filming some of the stuff and seeing some of the scenes and how it ended up working out. Not just like our live stuff, but just like that stuff where we're going up by our merch booth or whatever. And
You see Paul, you see Paul and Christoph, and it's funny because like it pulls back on the reminiscent of like the After Party Massacre days where you watch the movie and you go, I know that guy. Yeah, I know that guy. I know that guy. And then you're doing it again, and then you're watching Death Metal, and you're like, yep, I know that guy. Yeah, I know that guy.
Hey, how much have we sold? Hey, dude.
Hey, what's happening?
So shirts are 20, but for you, I could knock it down at 10.
Oh, what, that shirt?
Yeah.
Abba what? Abba Sinister?
Abba Sinister?
Oh, I thought that band broke up.
Let's talk about touring. You guys have had a pretty hectic. This summer has been pretty busy for you guys. Is that right?
Yeah, we did. We did a European like festival / venue run for about 3 weeks in July, and I have to say that it went fucking great, really great. Like honestly, better than I expected, and it's been like that since we started playing again after the pandemic. But usually doing club shows around the time of the festivals in June, July, August is usually like a sentence of death, because people just can't come out to the venue shows because they're saving their money for the fest or they're tired or whatever, But this time it wasn't like that at all. Like I think every venue show we played was like packed full of people, which was great. I mean, it was such a great feeling. I mean, I remember we played in Slovenia it was a kind of a small punk club. They really didn't know how the show was going to go, and the show was fucking packed to the gills. I mean, people were basically like hanging outside and stuff, like couldn't even get into to watch us play. But it was just great because it's obviously it's great for us because okay, the shows are going great, that's awesome, but also the venue, the promoters and the venue owners are all happy, because they're like, oh fuck, Tuesday night and it's fucking packed in Belgium, it's like
I think there's just a ravenous appetite right now post-pandemic for anything metal. I think people are just, I've noticed it around here. Everyone's going to everything, every single show, and there's a lot of support right now. So I think it's really fucking cool.
I mean, they've been
And
trapped homebound for years.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
hungry. They want to get out.
yeah,
absolutely. And we're not
and
that far out from that shit. So, like I
Mm.
think things are recovering still.
yeah, and it's great. I mean, and it seems like everything, like the festival appearances that we have, like a lot of times, I don't know, in the past or whatever, you do festival shows, but you don't really see like a major uptick on the club shows from that. But now I don't know if it's just that the club shows are doing better or that people are seeing out of some of these fests and like really digging it and making sure they come to the club shows. I'm not really
Yeah.
sure what the situation is, but I
I,
like it.
I, I have to wonder if there's I hate to say this because there's no positive outcome after the pandemic, but for music, maybe the pandemic, you know, what maybe we needed it to kind of recharge. I think prior to
Yeah.
the pandemic, I don't know what your experience was with shows, but obviously you're seeing more people coming out now. There's more of an appetite for this stuff. So if there's any kind of takeaway from the pandemic as far as death metal, maybe it's just kind of recharging people's appetites for this stuff, not taking it so I feel like even myself, prior to the pandemic, I was guilty of not going to shows that I could have gone to just because I was lazy. But now that mentality is sort of kind of dissipated, and I want to see everything, and I want to support, and maybe
Well,
that's part of it.
on my end, from what I've noticed, it's like before the pandemic, things were growing already. Like basically from, I mean, really from right around the time when we signed with Relapse, and it really started going in the right direction and stuff for sure. It was building not super fast or whatever, but
Hmm.
definitely was going in the right direction. But and then when I was actually concerned because I was like, fuck, if the pandemic's going on forever, it's gonna fuck up momentum or whatever that we were
Yeah.
making.
Right. Yeah.
But actually instead it like I think it helped the situation out because yeah, with almost 2 years without seeing any metal shows or whatever, people really, decided to come out. So,
It's like a reset.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I
Yeah.
mean,
Reset. Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And, whatever the situation is, you have to take the best out of it. I mean, the pandemic sucked and the situation sucked. But the fact is that there were positives that came out of it. Like we had abundance of time to write music and to work on stuff. We have, you know, and now playing shows, things are going better than ever with the band. So it's like, okay, things were fucked up and it really fucked everything up pretty good, but things are getting on track and even better than before. I mean, I've noticed that too. It's like shows that normally would have done only okay or fucking doing great. Like venues have been packed for almost every show. I mean,
Hmm.
it's just insane the amount. Like it's a bunch of bands that were say smaller before the pandemic got or like headlining status now or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Strange because like I remember our original like intent, I'm sorry, our perspective at the time would have been that everything would have got saturated, everything would have bottlenecked, and all of a sudden there would have been triple and quadruple like overbookings and things of that nature. But that never really ended up surfacing, oddly enough.
Not so bad.
No. Um I truly thought that was going to be a problem, but hmm,
More organized
Yeah.
than you expected. Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Somehow it's working out. And all I could say is, from our point of view, it's been fucking awesome. I mean, um, you know, yeah, the show's just been great. I mean, people have been great. The vibe at the shows, the turnouts, it's like everybody's happy. Like I said, the venues that we play at, the people working there, seem to be in good spirits, happy to be back at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The the hospitality, especially like in Europe and stuff, has been just really awesome. Like everyone's just like so happy that we're there and stuff. It's just a great vibe. Makes it
Yeah.
fun.
Absolutely. I'm thinking like I Immolation is playing in Toronto. I think this next month, sometime in September, and it's probably their third or fourth time to Toronto in the past, geez, 8 months, and that's unbelievable to me. And every single time they come, it's packed. you know, and that wouldn't have happened prior to the pandemic. So I think there is an appetite for this stuff. And to segue, you guys are coming to Toronto. Big announcement.
Yeah, beauty, eh?
Yeah, beauty, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah, beer, eh?
Yeah,
Beauty.
with Suffocation. So tell us
Yes.
about this tour.
Well, what was it? Basically, was it where it was before the pandemic? We did what do we do with Suffocation? Oh yeah, okay, we did Mexico with Suffocation. Um, we Chimuco Productions booked us a tour in Mexico with us in Suffocation, and it ended up being fucking awesome. Like it just worked having two old school bands from, originally from the New York area that were different, but still we have that connection of being from the same era, the same scene. It seemed like people really wanted to see that, and see that unity of the old school bands doing something. So it went great in Mexico, and then the pandemic happened. And then about what was it 2022, we ended up doing Central South America with Suffocation and us, and that also was like off the hook, incredible. So, and between like the shows being great, and then like we just were able to get along really well with Suffocation. I mean,
I'm sure you've known Terrence for years, right?
yeah, I've known
Yeah.
Terrence for a long time. I know Ricky, who's singing for him now for a long time, and then the other guys. I've known some of the guys for like Derek. I've known probably for I don't know about 15 years or something like that too. But very, very nonchalantly. I didn't know Derek that well, but then with the other guys, it just everything. Bottom line is we got along with them great, and
Nice, cool.
it made for a really fun tour, and it seemed like the people really just was like, there's just something about having that
I'll
old.
be right back.
Yes,
Sorry.
there's something about having that, two old school bands from the same era doing something. It's like seeing like I don't know. Sodom and Destruction or Sodom and Creator or whatever together, it just there's something special about it, and we felt that both sides felt that. I mean, talking to Terrence at the shows, he would come to me, we got to do this, again, as either US or Europe or something like that, and I was like, yeah, for sure, it's fucking awesome, and it ended up, we made it happen. Last time Suffocation, I think earlier this year, Suffocation opened up on the Death to All tour, and I was talking with those guys, and we were just like, yeah, let's just fucking make this happen, and everybody was down with it.
How long is this run? Do you know?
It's about a month long.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's a month long. In my opinion, I would have rather had it a little longer because I think there's a couple places that we're not hitting. We're not hitting Florida or Western Canada, and it's a couple other places. I think it could have been a little more thorough, but it's difficult with two bands like us and Suffocation with our schedules and stuff to work anything out. So we have to be happy with what we got.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a sick tour. I mean, I think, we've been doing great live lately, and Suffocation's been totally destroying it. I mean, they sounded fucking awesome, on all the touring that we done. So it's going to be a sick night. And also on it, we have, Stabbing, opening up from Texas.
Yep.
And what was it? Remnants. Fuck. Holy crap! I can't think of. I get them confused with Scattered Remnants, but it's
Skeletal Remains.
Skeletal Remains.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Please don't tell them I said that.
No, that's okay. All these death metal band names, they sometimes kind of mesh together, and they're a really cool fucking band. Really cool band. So that's awesome.
And
There's no doubt that this fucking this tour, you're gonna pack houses. Absolutely. That's
And-
just a stacked lineup.
They're great. Yeah, they're a great band. We met those guys a couple times too. And Charlie, who will be doing drums on the tour, he played on their album and stuff. So
He's
and
doing
it-
double duty.
no, he's not playing with
No,
them.
I was going to say, I was like, woo, because he had even said that some of the hardest material that he actually had to learn was through Skeletal Remains. So,
Wow.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yep.
So, but no, he's not doing double duty on the show. They have their own drummer now in the band. I think a permanent guy, but it's definitely gonna be badass. It'll be we're really looking forward to it. I mean, I'm looking forward to just being able to play some of these songs out, to the crowd and stuff.
Have you guys already been playing them? Have you been dropping stuff?
We only played the one song that Conquered That in Europe, Australia, and Dubai on our last run that we did.
Oh, fuck. I wanted to ask about the Dubai show.
Okay.
Talk about that because that's
Yeah, that was something we were really surprised to be able to get something in Dubai, but it just worked out this time, and it was really a cool experience. I mean,
so I was wondering about this. Tell me about the turnout, the venue. I kind of want to know the specifics of it because I didn't really get anything from anything post show from that. Can you talk about like the interesting parts of it or anything
Yeah.
that stood out?
Well, yeah. Well, first of all, the place that we played, it was like it's like a Dubai version of a strip club. So I played like on a strip club stage, and they had like a
But was it actually a strip club, or you're saying that it
no.
looks like a strip club?
Well, in Dubai, they don't have strip clubs like they have strip clubs here, like strip clubs here, women that get naked.
Yeah, I think, but I think it's different. But I think it's different from the US to Canada because in Canada they get fully like you don't miss anything.
Canada's a great place to go to strip clubs. It's total. They're wild up there for
Oh,
sure.
it's raunchy. Yeah. I think I don't think you get what we get here in the States. I think you get some topless.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. But I'm not an expert at it, but I know the Canadian strip clubs are pretty crazy for sure.
They are.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, basically it was in a hotel, and in the hotel they had like it was like it was a strip club, but they can't really get naked. They just like because the night before we got into town,
did they take down the underwear then, or
they basically they were wearing like like I don't know what you call them, like almost like a bodysuit or something with clothes
Burqa?
over it. Not a burqa. No. No, it wasn't that bad.
Like a yoga suit, like a yoga,
Yeah, like
something tight. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like almost like skin color, kind of yoga thing with basically they did mildly erotic dancing to songs.
Oh,
on
you
the
witnessed
stage.
this the night
Oh
before.
yeah,
Yeah,
I went
okay.
the night before because I was just like,
Right.
they said tonight. They were just like, we went there. They said, tonight they have, was it Russian, a Russian strip club theme tonight. And I was like, oh, okay, let's check this out. See what, 'cause I wanted to check out the venue anyway. And I was like, well, if it's going to be a Russian strip club, it's like, what's the worst that could happen,
sign me up?
Yeah.
we all, I went in and the other guys all came in and stuff like that. And we were, it was what it was, I mean, they were, doing their thing or whatever, but it looked like it was almost like, almost like they were looking, it was like almost like Russian prostitutes that were doing, stripping or whatever, and basically trying to get people to take them up to the rooms in a hotel. I don't know if that's what was happening, but that was
That's how it perceived.
that's
Yeah.
the way it came
Yeah.
across to me or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
and it necessarily wasn't all that, but it was,
Right.
we were tripping out because we're hanging out in Dubai at a strip club. That whoever thought that would happen, but
I'm more curious how this came about. Like, somebody obviously approached you about doing this, and
Well,
there was
yeah,
a need for this in Dubai. That surprises me on its own.
yeah. Well,
Me too.
what really? Oh, to start off, to finish the situation, that they had the stage that we played on basically was like the dance stage that they had there, and they
Yeah.
had like a big, a big LED screen in the back or whatnot. So, yeah, I'll get into the show in a moment. But as far as actually doing it, um, there's a company there called Metal East, and it has this guy. He's from Syria, but he ended up moving from Syria to Dubai
Hmm.
quite a while ago, and he basically Dubai is probably the most liberal
Western. Yeah.
of the countries there. So ended up being a good place for him to be able to bring some metal bands there and stuff. So he has brought some stuff there. I think Immolations played there, if I remember correctly, and he said Vader's played there a few times actually, and a couple others I can't remember offhand, but
Mhm.
yeah, basically it was they really showed us great hospitality. I mean, it was a kind of a collective. There was like 4 different people that were in like the kind of production team there, and they basically like treated us great. I mean, as soon as we got there, they, took us out. We had some Syrian food that was at a restaurant down the street, which was actually really freaking good. And then they to give us like the Cliff Note version of touristy stuff or whatever in the city or whatever. And it's a really interesting place. I mean, it was really really Western, but at the same time very Muslim at the same time. I mean, they were even explaining to us like the different like like the white uniforms like the guys wear, like those white clothy things or
Mhm.
whatever. Like they were explaining to me, like you could tell what country they're from by the way they wear their cloths, things or whatever. And it's like a mixture. Like you'll see people like that. Like we were at this mall there that had a fucking aquarium in it and stuff with sharks. And you it's a mixture between like normal people that you would see like in the US everywhere, and then like not like religious people, but just people that were like dressed up in their heritage, whatever their
Religious outfits.
yeah. So it was a really interesting dynamic, and it wasn't like there was no issues. Like everyone was just like doing their own thing, and it was you know it was different, but it was kind of cool to see that you know there was a place where you didn't have to really worry about you know over extremist kind of stuff or whatever, that it was reasonable, like it just you felt safe, you felt like it
A
wasn't
good
like
environment. Yeah, that sounds cool.
Like you
Yeah.
wouldn't have expected. I wouldn't have expected. It's not like I don't know. You think going to Afghanistan wouldn't go. They look at you and they want to kill you or something. But
Or they do.
a place like this, it's just like you know, it's there for everybody to. It's like the Western place for, say, Muslim people in that part of the world to go to kind of enjoy something closer to a US or European kind of vibe or whatever. But I mean, for a Westerner, it's interesting for sure because, I think most people identify, a lot of the Muslim and Islamic kind of stuff in a very, you look at it in a religious way, I guess, when for them it's just like, their language or just their writing and stuff like that. And it's really, it was like almost it was almost like going on the streets of any city in the US. You had like, you know, bums and stuff and nice areas and clean areas and fucked up areas. One thing I thought was really interesting about the country was they don't have a underground like sewer system. They have to use a septic system where, because they're on sand, so the sewer system doesn't work properly there. So they have these
Interesting.
trucks that just fucking pump out shit from like all these buildings and stuff, and like I don't know where they bring it to, but they have some place they fucking have to dump it out because
So there's no plumb.
there's no plumbing system underground in the vent. I mean, in the hotels there were. I mean, hotels were beautiful that we stayed in, but it was just that as far as like, yeah,
Everything's a porta potty. They got to pump that shit out.
everything's a porta potty. Yeah, is what I'm trying to say.
I like that. That's interesting.
Yeah, but anyway, it was really great.
How were
I
the
mean,
fans? How were the fans?
That's what I was just going to get to. It was really great because we got people come. I mean, I can't remember every place of Bahrain, Oman, Syria. What was it?
You
Saudi
said
Arabia,
Qatar.
Qatar. Those are most of them. I mean, not everybody told me where they're from, so obviously I wouldn't know. But those are the ones that talked to me and said where they came from and stuff. And basically, we played on a Tuesday night, so it was a lighter night than it would have been if it was a weekend. Most of the bands, this was the first time they did a show on a weekday, and it still had a good turnout. But they said it easily would have been double, if not more, if it was on a weekend, because most people that are coming there are traveling from all throughout the Middle East. I mean, there was
Right.
even people
That
from
was so wild.
that were there. So
Yeah.
like the Metalheads there, they would have to like bus in or fly in to see the show, because I mean a lot of the countries there are not they have shows there, but they can't have international shows there. They like Bahrain has a metal scene. The opening band that played there we're from there, and they said they have metal bands play there, and it's totally cool. And they even sometimes have out of area bands come in and stuff like that. And like guitar is also pretty open and stuff like that. But when you get to these other places, they are more strict. So these people do have to travel to come see you. And it was really great to see that there's so much metal people in in the Middle East that they were fucking into it like a motherfucker. I mean, they were
Wow.
That's cool.
soaking it up. And it's funny because there's people in the venue that have these big hookahs and stuff they're smoking, and they're
Nice.
some people, and then you think they can't drink, but they were drinking like motherfuckers at the venue and stuff. And they bought our merchandise like it was no tomorrow. We didn't
Wow.
have a lot of merchandise, but they basically bought almost everything that was available to buy because they were just so happy that we came there to play.
That's very cool.
And
Yeah.
it shows you it showed me, and it's something I guess I knew already, but it's always nice to see, is that no matter what part of the world you live in, no matter how fucked up the culture is, or how fucked up we think the culture is, or whatever you want to say, it's like metalheads are metalheads, and we're
There's a
like
commonality, right?
yeah, we're like
Yeah.
we're like our own race, our own species of people,
Yeah. Yeah.
where
We are a world collective. We might be
Yeah.
small, but we're everywhere.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
and it felt really good, and I had some conversations with people, and it was really nice to be able to just talk with people and just hear their stories of, where they, either where they're from, what the scenes like there, or some of the struggles they had. It was
Mhm.
really interesting. There was a girl that came from Bahrain to the show, which was, and she was a really hardcore metalhead, and it was interesting to hear her story because there's a lot of it sounds brutal, but there's male chauvinism there from a lot of the Islamic teachings and stuff there. And she was telling me a lot of problems that she has because she plays bass and she, you know, tries to play in bands and stuff, but she has problems because people don't want to accept her because she's a woman playing, metal in the Middle East of all places. Even though Bahrain is, pretty liberal,
Mhm.
still not easy for a woman to do this kind of
Oh,
stuff
I
there.
bet. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and it's interesting to talk about it. And it's just nice to see that, someone like that, I was able to have a talk and kind of inspire her and let her know, like, it's important for her what she's doing and not to let these, these people that, might have, lame views like that to stop you from, following your goals and stuff like that. And as long as playing music's in your heart and that's what you want to do, you should do it. And even if you get into a band and you have to deal with some chauvinism because of the situation, I told her it's more important that you're doing the right thing for the right reason and not let
Mhm.
other people, get you down or stop you from following your own goals and stuff. And it felt really nice to be able to have that kind of conversation.
Interaction. Yeah.
Yeah, interaction, and there was other people too, had great interactions with. I mean, we had gifts. I got some chocolates from, this one couple there, and somebody gave me a napkin where they wrote a little note to me thanking me for coming, that they um someone like her boyfriend or husband wanted to go to the show really bad, so she made it happen that they were able to come to the show, and she said that she ended up enjoying the show maybe even more than he did, and that she really appreciated the fact that we came there and gave him such a good and powerful show and stuff. And these things, it was just really nice because you could really tell that they really, really, really appreciate it. And also the production there was just, they were really doing their best. The crew was really nice. They really, really, really appreciated it, and it was like the kind of welcome that you want to have when you go to a place like that you don't get to go to and you don't know what to expect, and some bands don't even want to go there because they're scared that, what's going to happen to them. They're going to get some
Yeah.
blasphemy laws or something
Very
like that.
common anymore,
I
people
was
leave.
I was going to ask if you documented this in any way. And
Not really.
right.
Just some photos and stuff like that. But no,
Right.
would have been something cool to document. But it was just really nice, and the promoters were just so fucking cool, like, and it worked out great because we're very easygoing, so we're just like hanging out, having a good time and stuff, and enjoying the situation and talking to people and having a few drinks and stuff, and they were saying, like, no other band that came here like ever like hung out with us after the show. They go right, it was in a hotel, so they played the show, go up to their hotel room and whatever, rest or whatever.
Oh, come on.
But
You're
myself,
hi, man. You're on the
all
other
of us.
side of the planet. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah, so we're hanging out,
Live a little.
we're
Yeah.
talking to, it was great. I mean, we heard stories from like some kids from bands were telling us, stories about cool things that happened. I guess Metallica played there recently, and they
Oh,
had
wow.
a local band play there, and they had a local band from Dubai open up the Metallica show.
That's
for him,
crazy.
you know?
That's
That's
fucking
cool.
crazy.
Good for them. That's cool. That's cool.
Hey
You
guys,
know?
we're run out of time here. Thanks so much and congratulations on the album again. I'm looking forward to seeing all the reviews that come out over the next, month or so, and really looking forward to the tour coming up. And again, congrats and thanks so much for continuing to do what you do.